I'm continuing my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around a little bit as I move along. Right now, I'm kind of going back and forth between 2 Samuel and 1 Chronicles. We have read of the death of Uzzah for studying the ark, and in Samuel chapter 6, we just read about the ark being brought to Jerusalem and the breach that occurred between David and his first wife, Michal. Right now, we are switching back to 1 Chronicles chapter 15, because this will tell us a similar or a second account of the ark coming to Jerusalem. So, 1 Chronicles chapter 15. David prepares a place for the ark. Levites bring ark to Jerusalem. They sing and minister before the Lord. Now you will recall there was a brief mention in Samuel 16 that when David brought the ark to Jerusalem, he put it in the pavilion that he had created for it. I think it says a pavilion, right? Well, in the midst of the tabernacle that David had pitched for it. So David had prepared a place for it. We get this very brief mention of that in 2 Samuel. Let us read what we have here in 1 Chronicles. And David made him houses in the city of David, and prepared a place for the ark of God, and pitched for it a tent. Then David said, None ought to carry the ark of God but the Levites, for them hath the Lord chosen to carry the ark of God, and to minister unto him forever. And David gathered all Israel together to Jerusalem to bring up the ark of the Lord unto his place which he had prepared for it. And David assembled the children of Aaron and the Levites, of the sons of Kohath, Uriel the chief and his brethren, 120. Of the sons of Merari, Isaiah the chief and his brethren, 220. Of the sons of Gershom, Joel the chief and his brethren, 130. Of the sons of Elizaphan, Shemaiah the chief and his brethren, 200. Of the sons of Hebron, Eliel the chief and his brethren, 80. Of the sons of Uzziel, Aminadab the chief and his brethren, 112. And David called for Zadok and Abiathar the priests, and for the Levites for Uriel, Isaiah, and Joel, and Shemaiah, and Eliel, and Aminadab, and said unto them, Ye are the chief of the fathers of the Levites. Sanctify yourselves, both ye and your brethren, that ye may bring up the ark of the Lord God of Israel unto the place that I prepared for it. For because ye did it not at the first, the Lord our God made a breach upon us, for that we sought him not after the due order. Now, I like this. Let's pause a moment here. Remember the death of Uzzah. They got Aminadab, I believe was his name, and his two sons. He was keeping the ark, and his two sons started to bring the ark up. And when Uzzah touched the ark, he was struck dead. And David got all words, oh, maybe I shouldn't be bringing it up. Then later on, he hears, so he drops it off with Obed-Edom, and later on he hears that God is prospering Obed-Edom because of the ark. But David, this gives us a little bit better understanding of David. That David, he didn't just drop it off and say, oh, I'm going to leave it there and never think about it again, and then get tempted by the prosperity that it brought. But he was saying, no, we're doing this wrong. We've got to get the priests. We've got to get the right people to carry the ark, because that's what the law says. The law says only these guys can carry it. So he started calling all the Levites together. Now, Abiathar, he's the son of Ahimelech, the priest that helped David and was killed by Saul. So Zadok and Abiathar, they're the two. I'm not sure which one of them is actually the high priest, but I think Ahimelech was the high priest at the time. And so Abiathar probably is the new high priest at this time. So he's starting saying, we did this wrong, let's do it right this time. And he brings all the Levites together in order to carry the ark properly. So, verse 14. So the priests and the Levites sanctified themselves to bring up the ark of the Lord of God of Israel. And the children of the Levites bare the ark of God upon their shoulders with the staves thereon, as Moses commanded, according to the word of the Lord. And David spake to the chief of the Levites to appoint their brethren to be the singers with instruments of music, psalteries and harps and cymbals, sounding by lifting up the voice with joy. So the Levites appointed Heman, the son of Joel, and his brethren, Asaph, the son of Berechiah, and of the sons of Merari, their brethren, Ethan, the son of Cushaiah, and with them their brethren of the second degree, Zechariah, Ben, and Jahaziel, and Shemiramoth, and Jehiel, and Unai, and Eliab, and Benaiah, and Maaseiah, and Mattithiah, and Elipheleth, and Mechniah, and Obed-Edom, and Jael, the porters. So the singers, Heman, Asaph, and Ethan, were appointed to sound with cymbals of brass, and Zechariah, and Aziel, and Shemiramoth, and Jehiel, and Unai, and Eliab, and Maaseiah, and Benaiah, with psalteries on Alamoth, and Mattithiah, and Eliphelah, and Mechniah, and Obed-Edom, and Jael, and Azaziah, with harps on the Sheminith to excel. And Kenaniah, chief of the Levites, was for song. He instructed about the song because he was skillful. And Berechiah and Elkanah were doorkeepers for the ark. And Shebaniah and Jehoshaphat, and Nathaniel, and Amasai, and Zechariah, and Benaiah, and Eleazar, the priests, did blow the trumpets before the ark of God. And Obed-Edom and Jehiah were doorkeepers for the ark. That's a lot of names and a lot of stuff going on there, but note a couple of things here. First, Heman, son of Joel. He's the grandson of Samuel. Because you recall the sons of Samuel, back, chapter 7 of 1 Samuel. Oh, chapter 8. His sons. His firstborn was Joel, and the name of the second Abiah. And in the earlier chapters of 1 Chronicles, it lists the genealogies, and we read that Heman, the son of Joel, that's Samuel's grandson. He's made one of the singers under David. I like that. These three men, Heman, Asaph, and Ethan, one from each of the three sons of Levi. Kohath, Gershom, and Ethan, each one of them, David chose one singer from among each to lead the singing. But I find this interesting, that Kenaniah, he is the chief over the song. Maybe he is the one that is referred to in the Psalms as to the chief musician. So it's interesting information, very tongue-twisting names, but interesting information on the families here. So anyways, verse 25. So David and the elders of Israel and the captains over thousands went to bring up the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of the house of Obed-Edom with joy. And it came to pass, when God helped the Levites that bare the ark of the covenant of the Lord, that they offered 7 bullocks and 7 rams, and David was clothed with a robe of fine linen, and all the Levites that bare the ark, and the singers, and Kenaniah the master of the song with the singers. David also had upon him an ephod of linen. Thus all Israel brought up the ark of the covenant of the Lord with shouting, and with sound of cornet, and with trumpets, and with cymbals, making a noise with psalteries and harps. And it came to pass, as the ark of the covenant of the Lord came to the city of David, that Michal, the daughter of Saul, looked out at a window, saw King David dancing and playing, and she despised him in her heart. So we get only that brief mention of the breach between Michal and David in Chronicles. And I think that's because Chronicles isn't trying to do an in-depth psychology of David. It's just giving you the facts, giving you the events. This is how it happened, and this is who was involved. While Samuel is more of a narrative that is actually kind of delving into the psychology of David, kind of giving us his personality. We don't see that as much in Chronicles. So these personal stories, Chronicles is the public stories. The personal stories, such as the breach between Michal and David, are given more detail in Samuel, which is a much more personal account. Anyways, I do find the other thing that I wanted to mention this. I didn't realize this one, but it mentions Alamoth and Sheminith, with harps on the Sheminith to excel, and with psalteries on Alamoth. Those two terms are in the headings of some of the Psalms, and I've discussed them in the past. Honestly, right now I can't remember exactly what the discussion was, but I did discuss them, and this would indicate to me that they are musical styles or pre-written musical accompaniments for songs. They're musical pieces of music that could have many different poems set to them, so you could sing several different songs to the same tune, and that's what it seems to me that this is. But anyways, I found that very interesting that it actually mentions that in Chronicles, those titles. But we will leave that one here, and we'll pick it up in the next one.